Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Mike Swayman here, giving you guys another video. And today's video, dude, we are going to compare two camera settings that I have noticed that have worked for the show. Now, which one's the best? I know that's what you're asking. Yes! Yes! Well, that's what's part of the video. I have done both of these settings. Now, I don't have Strike Zone 2, and I have heard that Strike Zone 2 is not bad, but most of the goons that I have seen playing this game either play with two options: Strike Zone or Strike Zone High. Just saying, it's what they use. Okay, so in this video we're going to compare both, and I'm going to give you guys my feedback of what the best one is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our video for today. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our video. We got Strike Zone, which that's the first option we're going to do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of feedback on the two, okay, on both Strike Zone and Strike Zone High. And from those two feedbacks, I will then give you guys the best option of what I think will work for you with the approach that I do. Now, if you haven't checked out my hitter sack video, again, go ahead and do so, okay, because we're going to use that approach a lot. I use that approach a lot when it comes to these camera settings. So if you guys are looking for a good approach, good PCI placements, go check that out. But let's see what we got for the camera settings that we got here. We're going to go with Strike Zone first. Okay, Strike Zone, it's going to be more zoomed in to the box, to the batter. You notice that the batter is not going to be in the zone that much. Matter of fact, they're going to be actually panned out. I'm going to give you guys the strengths and weakness of this camera. When it comes to the strengths from this view, you see the zone really well, okay? Taking balls and strikes are, really, somewhat decently easy, I will say that. But also seeing, being able to hit the middle pitch and the top zone, that is really easy to do. But here's the downside of that, okay? There's a double-edged sword to this, okay? When it comes to being so zoomed in, I will say the weakest part of this zone is definitely the low pitches, man. When it comes to the low pitches, from my perception, I feel like, from what I see, of course, I feel like I see like the ball. It could be a ball and it looks like a strike out of the hand. When it comes to low pitches, man, I don't know why. It just looks that way. Especially when it comes down to this part of the zone, man, it's really tough to tell if it's a strike or a ball. And sometimes believe it more than not, I've actually been called on third strikes looking.
You serious?
Because I always thought those pitches were going to be, balls. I didn't think they're going to be strikes. So never swung at it. Okay. But overall, I mean, when I've used this zone, or when I use this view, I have won 12. I have gotten 12 wins on BR. They didn't go flawless, but I have gotten 12 wins on BR. I will say that I hit pretty decently well, but there are days too where I do struggle at the plate, in regards to timing. Okay. Overall, I think it's not a bad view. You could use it for BR. Only downside with that view is that the low pitches, sometimes when it's a strike or when it's a changeup, the changeups are the worst pitch. I swear. I mean, if your opponent knows that you're on strike zone, they're going to utilize a lot with that four-seam fastball for a strike, and then they'll utilize that changeup that will sink down for a ball. I've seen that happen many times, so be on the lookout for that. Okay. But guys, as we go on, let's go ahead and go over to Strike Zone High. All right, guys, so when it comes to Strike Zone High, you're going to be more self-centered. You will see the batter a little bit more than usual. Now, you can actually see a little bit of Nootbaar's body there, okay, in all shapes and forms, right? I mean, look at that. Nootbaar just completely swinging and missing. Love it. Ah. Man, you can't do that, man. Come on. But when it comes to Strike Zone High, okay, this is the camera that I currently use for my team. Okay, all right, for my team. Yeah, I mean, I use this view. This is my view. Okay, I'll give you the strengths of this view. Strengths of this view, and I'm actually kind of struggling a little bit because I'm going from Strike Zone to Strike Zone High. The ball does not come in quicker than Strike Zone. Strike Zone comes in, you see the zone better, but the ball comes in quicker. Whereas this one, it's like a balance where it's like in between being close to the zone and not. But anyways, the benefits of this view, okay? I will say this is, man, seeing the low pitches, really easy, man, really easy. I've noticed that like I can actually take a lot of, you know, changeups low, and not only that, seeing fastballs in the zone that are low that work, and not only that, the beauty about it is that I can see those top pitches pretty well as well. I do notice too, like sometimes, man, when it comes to this zone, is that you'll start seeing the breaks easier. Like you'll see sliders looking like sliders, you'll see cutters moving like cutters, and even curveballs. Are there like an occasional outlier where it doesn't happen? Yes, sure. But more likely than not, it's a really easy zone to hit off of. The only downside that I will say about this zone, man, is that if you do not have a good reaction time or you don't have good patience, this zone can kind of mess you up a little bit. Okay. All right. You got to have that patience when it comes to hitting with this zone. Okay. All right, you got to. Okay, because you're gonna see the ball so well that you're gonna be swinging at a lot of pitches. It's gonna happen. Okay. Overall, pretty good zone. Love it. I actually went flawless with this zone. Currently, as I'm filming this video, our rating right now in ranked is like 1050. It's 1050. But if I had to go between the two camera angles that you got here, the best camera settings, by far, strike zone high. Strike zone high kills it for me, man. I don't know why, don't know what, but it just works. Just works. I see the ball better. I hit the ball farther, and I hit it harder. Hey, man, everyone digs the long ball, right? So that's why we use this view, man. The best view is the greatest view, right? I guess something like that. Okay. All right. But guys, I will say though, between the two though, I mean, the most consistent that I've been here was strike zone high. Strike zone high by far, dude, is the move. It is the move. It is the move. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. Today's video, we just kind of went over the best camera settings for hitting. I kind of gave you feedback on both. You know, again, when I say feedback on both, I know there's strike zone 2. I know there's strike zone 3. Guys, if you guys want to be really good in this game and be a goon or be guys that can hit really well, I'm just letting you know, most of these guys use strike zone and strike zone high. It's just, it is what it is. Some do use strike zone 2. If strike zone 2, again, works for you and you hit bombs and you crush it, use it, okay? The video is not to disregard, you know, other views. If you crush it with other camera views, do it. But I will say this. These two views, strike zone and strike zone high, have been really utilized by other top 50 players and BR flawless goons in the community. So that's why I compared the two. Okay. Overall, I still think strike zone high is the best option between the two. Okay. I saw the ball better. You lay off the low pitches easier. Seeing the high pitches is easier too. Okay. Do you have to react better? Yes, you do, kind of. But overall, strike zone high is more consistent than strike zone. Strike zone, I mean, when I'm like crushing it, I'm killing it with strike zone. Strike zone high, I'm consistent. I might not crush every pitch, but we win ball games. And again, we gotta win ball games, right? Okay, we gotta hit where they ate. Okay, guys, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And also, if you guys can, comment on the comment section below on what camera angle you guys like in the MLB The Show 23. I don't know why I said the full name, but all right. But yeah, share. What camera angle do you guys absolutely just kill the baseball in? Okay, all right. But also, if you guys want to see more of this content and don't want to miss it, which I know you don't want to miss it, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification button so that you guys do not miss any future content on this channel. Guys, this is Mike Swingman wishing you guys nothing but perfects, pinpoint pitching, and I see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.